Hey guys, welcome back to St. Mojo Homestead. I am heading into the garden to just kind of check some things out, pick some stuff, and see how it fared last night and this morning. We had our first morning where it really got down below freezing, and so really curious to see what really took some damage, what took a hit, and what's kind of still here. This is crazy. Check this out. This is one of our basils. I don't remember which one. I think this is African basil, but I might be wrong. But I mean, the tips got hurt, but the rest of it's fine. That's crazy. Our peppers, surprisingly, don't look like they really sustained a ton of damage. I do see some, we'll get to those, that are pretty wilty. Loofah definitely took a hit. Back there you can see the leaves. Let's just stroll through. Let's look at what we got, what happened, what's doing well, what's not doing well, and go from there. So my main goal is to harvest all of these hot peppers, mainly just jalapenos that have been left out here. They have actually been doing really well, but the cold is definitely starting to take a toll on them. But these things are great. I cannot believe that we are at the end of November and still have these plants doing well and producing some big peppers. I am gonna go ahead and harvest most of these peppers just because they're not going to last too much longer. We're supposed to get down to 30 again tomorrow. And so while these things have really done a good job of hanging on, I don't think they're gonna fare very well with another day of really cold temperatures. So that's all of them. Look at these guys. There are so many on there. We do overwinter our peppers, and so we did a video on that. These are just extra peppers. We don't normally do all of our peppers because we do like to have new starts every single year. So these were the ones that just got left in the ground to see how long they would go, and they really have done a good job. We tend to have a crazy little microclimate where we are, just like right here on the property, which, I mean, that's the kind of the definition of a microclimate, is a different climate that is specifically contained to a very small area. As we go through seasons of gardening, sort of learning like what that looks like, that microclimate, and really just being a learner of the land and nature right here on our property, which, if you're homesteading, is so important. You can't go really by just a big general brush stroke of temperatures and everything else. It's important that you know your land, that you study it, and that you pay attention to really temperatures compared to like your area temperature as opposed to like your immediate on location temperature. Kind of similar in just that, like how I'm walking through here, for example. Sort of just what every gardener does. You take stock or notice of different areas in your garden. Like these are all broccoli that we planted. Now these did get planted a little bit later. Ugh. And I see that they have a few aphids on the leaves, so we definitely need to get those treated. They have really been slow to get established, whereas the broccoli that we planted in a different part of the garden a little bit earlier really jumped and took off. It could be a different variety. That could be playing a factor in it. It could be the soil, although this soil tends to be pretty good. It also could just be the health of the plants when we bought them. That could go a long way in that. Ooh, I see some tomatoes that need to be picked, and they're not going to be super flavorful, but they could still be cooked down and used in, you know, stews or other stuff like that. This is what distracted me right here, these tomatoes. It's crazy. Some of these, yeah, a lot of those got frozen last night and are just mush now, but that one's still pretty good. So the other thing that we do have growing out here is collards. And whoa, what the heck? We have yellow jackets everywhere, guys. I think they're just trying to get warm. They also seem to be, look at this. I don't know if you guys can see it or if it's really showing up on camera, but I mean, they are like everywhere. Like if I didn't know better, I would think that there was a nest somewhere in the garden. I know there's not, because I know where their nest is. It's actually in our goat pen, so I can't spray it because the goats are way too curious with that stuff. But I mean, this is crazy. They're like going down underneath the straw in different locations, which is why I know they're not trying to make a home or anything like that. It's like they're trying to get down to the wet dirt. So maybe they are trying to build up, trying to find water. I don't know. Look at that. So we might have a nest that they're trying to build, because I do see them going in and out from underneath that cardboard. Not good. Those guys are definitely going to be taken care of. I bet that's what it is. But anyway, not why I came out here. I hate yellow jackets. I know that there's some people that say, oh, it's nature. You just kind of, let them do their thing, leave them alone. Nope, not me. I will hardcore fight them off. Yeah. Ugh. So not happy about that. There's definitely a nest there. One of the reasons is because we have, our kids come in here, and I don't want them to stir up a yellow jacket nest, because some people call them ground hornets. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, same thing. But yeah, horrible, beastly little things. And they're fine as long as you don't mess with the nest, but I will not be allowing them to continue to live. Back to the whole reason that I came over here, collards and cabbage. That's what we have growing over here. You can kind of see it behind me and around our circle. So the collards, we will actually do those as cut and come again. So we just continually cut them. We don't do one big harvest on them. And that allows us to just continually use them throughout the season. And it gives them an opportunity to continue to grow through the season. Now the cabbage, we do let head up, and we will wait until those form really good heads on them, and then harvest them at the, normal time to harvest. We also have onions planted all in here. The bulbs are doing well, but they haven't, most of them, because of our temperatures, haven't really started pushing growth off. But we just get those in the ground now so they can overwinter and then grow. I'm gonna get out of this yellow jacket area, and let's finish talking about microclimates and what I have discovered with our property. All right, so I'm gonna set up camp here to talk, because I found some more tomatoes. Super excited about. These are actually good. But microclimates, and I really started paying attention to this just this year as our temperatures are falling, and really wanting to kind of take mental notes that where we're at is about 2 degrees warmer than just like right up the road. And when I say right up the road, I mean literally like top of the hill up the road, which is not far. To give you an idea, that's about, I don't even know if it's 1/10 of a mile from our property to where I can watch the thermometer in my car drop 2 degrees. Or if I'm coming back down, I'll watch it jump 2 degrees. Yes, I am saying down. Like, we are down in the low part of our area. Whoa, check these out. Got a beautiful purple one. It's really pretty. Which normally holds cold air. So it really got me perplexed. And that's one of the reasons that I really started paying attention and thinking through, like, what could cause this. And really the only thing that I can think of that would be causing this, like, reverse microclimate for us is the fact that we are surrounded by woods. We left as much as we possibly could on our property when we were clearing it. This is pretty consistent through the wintertime and stuff. Like, we will tend to be a little bit warmer than what, like, the area forecast is saying our temps are. So what my hypothesis is, if you will, to make this all scientific, is that the tree cover and being surrounded by the trees is actually helping to hold that heat from the day in just a little bit longer. And it's keeping our temperature just a little bit higher. So essentially what we're creating is not really like a pressure cooker, but I guess like a Dutch oven. I mean, for lack of a better term, to where, you know, as the ground and the earth cools off at night, the trees and everything else down in this bowl is actually kind of holding it in, and it's keeping that heat within our area. Now the opposite is true for the summertime. It is noticeably cooler down here, and that is largely due to the shade cover and everything else. Trees and plants, if you didn't know this, do actually generate like their own heat. Now it's not significant or anything like that, but they do kind of hold heat and release it when it is cold. So you do get that effect if you keep a lot of trees or plants around. And then the opposite is true in the summertime. They're releasing moisture, which actually will bring the temperature down in an area. Now, the obvious thing also is shade. It provides shade, so you don't have that direct sun sitting and baking the ground. With these two factors, we aren't getting quite the temperature extremes and swings that the immediate area around us is experiencing. And a couple of degrees can really go a long way. When most of the area around us had that first frost or first freeze really at the end of October, we never dropped below freezing here. So that was the day that I really noticed it, because they were saying like, oh, it's gonna be really cold, all this stuff. Got in the car to take the kids to school and realized, wait, my car's not saying it's as cold. As soon as we got to the top of the hill, which again is like 1/2 of a mile up the road and higher in elevation, the temperature on my truck immediately showed 2 degrees colder. And I just watched it, and it continued to fall and fall and fall and fall the further we got out and away from this area. Even that 2 to 3 degrees has kept us above freezing and allowed this garden to continue to produce when most of the other gardens in this area have been done for a while. So it's just something that I think is kind of interesting. Also, summertime, the plants don't really tend to go through that stress that they do in a lot of our friends' gardens that are in this area as well. And I just, again, chalk that up to just, you know, this extra shade on the property keeps the general area a little bit cooler, and it just provides that extra, I don't know, relief from some of those extreme heat that happens in our area. All that to say, like, as you're looking at property, if you are newer to your property, even if you're not, start paying attention to those things, because they make a big difference. And don't assume that just because you're in a low spot, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep the sun out of you guys' eyes. Don't assume that just because your property is down in a low spot that you are automatically going to be cooler. Ooh, found some more stuff. Jess and Jeremiah, Roots and Refuge, they kind of have a similar situation in being in a low spot, but they don't really have a lot of trees around them. It's a lot of just open land, and they are always colder than the area around them. So definitely, like, if you're in a low spot, that's going to generally be the norm. But again, I think that by leaving our trees, we have really helped to buffer ourselves from that. So just an interesting fact that I wanted to share with you guys about our land, something that I've never really noticed a ton, but again, just started paying attention and noticed that it was happening. I'm gonna finish up going through the garden, just kind of check out what's going on. We do have some carrots coming up, I'd say, but other than that, that's all that I have for you guys. Thanks for joining me today. Really do appreciate each and every one of you who tune in and keep up with us on our journey. Be sure to hit that like button, and if you got any comments, we love interacting with you guys, so be sure to leave them in the comments. Until next time, guys, have a great week and be blessed. Thank you.